Hello, beautiful beings, and welcome back to the realm of inspiration. Last week, I was feeling a lot of excitement, energy wanting to come through. I was feeling a lot of urgency for the messages. I was feeling like it's ready, it's time, let's talk about it. It's very interesting when I tap into the energy and I set the intention for who I am channeling and what messages are coming through that energy starts to kind of wash over me as their presence starts to come. Universal Unity Warriors are very much they're very excitable. They're probably the most excitable ones. But the Divine Tranquility Warriors are the most peaceful ones. I'm feeling very, very very much wanting to zen and relax and just cozy up. I'm feeling like there was a little bit of snow this morning. A very cool and brisk November morning with some snow on the rooftops. So there's a lot of tranquil energy coming through, and it's time. It is time for divine tranquility. So we are going to have the Elfian Warriors of Divine Tranquility or Universal Tranquility. I don't know exactly what's the term that they put before it. I'm hearing Divine Tranquility. I don't know where I got Universal Tranquility from. I think they also use that term, but because we're talking about the essence of tranquility, it's more divine tranquility. So feeling a divine feminine, Elfian warrior of divine tranquility wanting to come through, reminding Elfian to give the crystals and the assignment through the channeling, and not giving it after the fact. Sometimes they come through and they just have a message and they're like, I hear your question and I'm going to answer it later, maybe not through direct channeling. Because they just have a message, and that's why I was feeling so eager last video, because they had a message. This time, it's more like offering insight and answering the question. So, hopefully for that, they will do that. I'm already feeling like we do have some blockages for our tranquility energy. I'm feeling it in the Achilles tendon, which I do tend to sometimes feel a certain pulsing there. It's in regards to our past. And there's some weaknesses that we have from our past, or more like we're afraid to be weak. And embracing tranquility might mean that we have to be weak and we have to surrender and we have to allow ourselves to be vulnerable. Not necessarily being weak, being vulnerable. We have to allow ourselves to be vulnerable and embrace that vulnerability. And that can be something that's very scary for us. Because in actuality, we're not going to truly find peace if we don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable with ourselves and with each other. That can bring that healing, and that healing brings tranquility and serenity. So, divine feminine, Elfian warrior of divine tranquility, the Elfian warrior domain, deliver messages for our highest good, what the collective needs to hear about embracing tranquility, to embrace stepping into their highest self, when I have safely stepped back. Hello, beautiful beings. I'm a divine feminine Elfian warrior of universal / divine tranquility. And there are 4 things I have to share with you all about allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to embrace tranquility. So the communicator was right in that pulsing feeling that the key to embracing tranquility and connecting to your highest self is that vulnerability. Vulnerability brings peace. There's a lot of things that you carry on your shoulders, that you weigh on yourself, that you don't allow yourself to put down and relax and ask for help, for real help. Not physical help, not money help, emotional help, mental help. A lot of you humans just say, I can't do anything. I'm sick and tired. I don't have this. I don't have that. That's complaining. That's not being vulnerable. Being vulnerable is why are you feeling this way? What got you in this circumstance, in this situation? How are you feeling inside? Not what's making you upset, because what's making you upset makes everyone upset. Why is it making you upset? Being vulnerable, allowing yourself to embrace vulnerability is important. It is key for you to have serenity and tranquility. So it's that vulnerability. So I have 4 things that I will touch on, and then I will answer the communicator's questions about an assignment and about the crystals. But let's talk about the 4 main things you need to know about embracing tranquility. So first is, what is divine tranquility? What is tranquility? Well, tranquility, divine tranquility, is that energy and essence of peace that comes from a combination of the healing energy, the harmonious energy, the forgiveness energy, the divine light and love energy, the balancing energy, the unity energy, as well as the cosmic heart energy. In reality, divine tranquility, in making it simpler terms than just saying a bunch of buzzwords, is divine tranquility is the bridge between the cosmic heart and the aquatic realm. So that's maybe a little bit more complicated than the buzzwords. So in the cosmic heart is the beating heart energy that helps with universal love, cosmic love, truly harmonious connections, and everything in that realm. It is the creator source light energy of the lunar beings and beings of the cosmic heart. And there is a bridge between the cosmic heart and the aquatic realm. In the aquatic realm are the beings of divine love, and the beings of soulmate connections, the guides of soulmate connections as well. Really the guides of soulmate connections, not the beings of soulmate connections. As well as, truly the beings of that harmonic relationship between all things exist in the cosmic heart and in the aquatic realm. And that bridging energy is divine tranquility, because there is that peace. Where there is love, there is peace. Where there is vulnerability and acceptance and compassion, there is peace. So it's that bridging energy, and really what it looks like is almost like a constellation. There are beautiful pink-looking stars shaping the symbol of the heart, with like a bridging of stars that are beautiful blue aquamarine color frequency, bridging into a pool of stars, making almost like not a wave. It's like a whirlpool. That is the human word. A whirlpool of water, but it is stars, and that water is the deepest of blues. And it's the most beautiful thing. It is this arching shape, and the reflection below it. It is stars. Of course, it's stars making this. So the reflection below it, the space below it, it's like little silver light bulbs. Little silver light. It is silver. It is divine feminine energy in its calmest forms. Because divine masculine energy is action. And unity is very much connected to divine masculine energy. It is action. Kindness is action. Truly harmonious connections and divine tranquility is more of that peace. It's peacefulness. Why kindness is action is because you take acts to be kind. Liberation or freedom is more connected to the divine feminine. You feel that peace, you feel that serenity when you're embracing your freedom. And karmic justice, divine justice is action. So we have our 6 principles, and we have our 6 different tribes within our domain, and 3 of them are connected to the masculine and the paternal energy, and 3 of them are connected to the feminine and the maternal energy. So when it comes to divine tranquility, that is the overarching energy that influences so many different realms. It bridges different realms of higher beings, higher light energy. It is the bridge of a lot of different higher light energy, because what is being sought after by beings of life incarnating in the physical, like yourselves watching this video, or like our communicator, is that seeking of peace that you have in the spirit while in the physical. And there is a lot of action when you're in the spirit as well. There's a lot of things that you're doing as well. You're moving, you're grooving, you're having your connections, you're doing all things. So there is that action still going on, and a lot of souls seek that connection to that peace by tapping into divine tranquility. Even in the non-physical, divine tranquility is that beacon of peace. So that's what it is. That's that explanation of what it is. Okay. So then number 2 is, what does that mean to you? Because we're constantly talking about things, well, this is this, and this is where this star system is, and this is the galactic neutral, and this is this, and this and that. And a lot of you humans are like, this has nothing to do with me. But it does. It has everything to do with you. Because understanding kind of what the divine tranquility energy looks like and the different energies influencing it and what it's connected to kind of helps you create that visual of some physical representation of an energy that is invisible to the human eye, but is very visible to the soul's eye, very visible to the highest self. And your highest self often really pulls a lot of energy from divine tranquility. Your highest self kind of is hanging out in a pool of silver light under the bridge of divine tranquility. Your highest self is there, just hanging out, and you have to meet it there. And you meet it there by taking a lot of action. You meet it there by embracing your power, by stepping into your truth. You meet it there by doing a lot of things. But once you're there and you're in that peace, then it's all about cultivating that peace in the physical and keeping it with you while you're having connections with other people and maintaining that peace, but not at the expense of somebody else's. This is the third thing. It's very important. A lot of you all in the collective all of humans are all about protecting your peace. But does that mean disrupting someone else's? It creates disharmony. If you are only thinking about your own peace, only thinking about yourself, you might hurt people around you. It causes disharmony. And communication blocks. It causes communication blocks. It does. Nothing that you do that is for your highest good will hurt someone else. It's important to know that. Nothing that you do that is for your highest good will hurt someone else. If you feel like you're hurting someone else, take accountability. Sometimes you have to be assertive and communicate how you're feeling and communicate your hurts, but don't hurt someone else. As a result, hurting someone else is never better. That's just on your karmic balance, which you'll learn about more in future episodes with those Elfian Warrior friends of mine. But your peace does not come at the expense of somebody else's. There's enough peace. Peace, tranquility is divine. There is enough tranquility and enough peace for everyone. So yours should not come at the expense of somebody else's. And if it comes at the expense of somebody else's, ask yourself, is that really peace? Because that infringes on universal unity. See how it's all connected? Like that W shape? A very structured, pointy W, but it's a W, nonetheless. Unity, universal unity is your peace, is other people's peace, too. So when you're at peace, what is bringing you peace is not hurting someone else. Your peace is contagious. It is spreading peace to everyone. You're like, you know what would bring me a lot of peace right now? What's in alignment with me right now is this thing. This thing is not in alignment with you. Okay. Well, let me evaluate. Is this thing that I'm doing selfish and only considering myself and nobody else? If the answer is yes, reevaluate. The answer is no. I am considering other people. So why is this bothering you? Maybe we don't have a harmonious connection. So how can we go about moving forward, having peace on both sides? Being considerate and compassionate of each other. That is very important. Because to step into your highest self and cultivate that tranquility and that peace within your life, you have to also allow it to happen for others too. It's being considerate of others as well as you are considering tranquility in your life. As you're considering stepping into tranquility, it's also being considerate of others. And something that is truly divinely tranquil, divinely serene, divinely peaceful will not hurt someone else in the process. It will spread like wildfire, but in a good way. It will spread peace. So the fourth thing is that vulnerability. Most important thing, vulnerability. You got to communicate that. Someone's telling you, this is what will bring me peace, and it is you not doing this, 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 you not doing this. And you're like, oh, that's not going to bring me peace. Well, I have to change everything about me. Maybe this is not a harmonious connection if I have to change everything about me to give you peace. Maybe I'll just step away. It's communicating, it's being vulnerable. Why do you want me to change everything about me to bring you peace? If someone's not willing to be vulnerable with you about that, be honest and communicate to you about that, that's not a harmonious connection. And that's not going to bring either of your peace, and it's going to be better to leave peacefully instead of leaving things in discord. Because when you leave things in discord, the discord will follow you. Because it's energy that you have to clear. It doesn't mean that the other person has to be peaceful as well as you. It's you handling it peacefully. You handling it with dignity and grace and elegance and compassion and forgiveness. You handling it from that perspective. You being vulnerable enough to express things, be in your serenity, be in your tranquility, be in your peace, and leave with peace. Then that discord that's left that they got going on, that is not your responsibility. You are letting your peace spread like wildfire. Your peace and that divine tranquility, you're giving the opportunity for divine tranquility to spread like wildfire. Anger just creates discord that will follow you. Anger blocks you from vulnerability. Vulnerability is key when it comes to kindness, is key for truly harmonious connections, is key for unity, and is key for tranquility. Vulnerability is key to connecting to your highest self, because your highest self does not need to filter, does not need to change who you are. You don't need to change who you are to be in your highest self. Your highest self is you. And your highest self is not embarrassed and is not ashamed of who it is. Is not ashamed of who you are. So that vulnerability is owning and honoring who you are. And if you are vulnerable enough to notice that there is something about yourself that does not resonate with you, you're like, I don't think that I like this. I don't think I like this thing. And if it's not like you hating on yourself, because you gotta love yourself, but you love yourself enough to know that, this action is not healthy for me. Maybe this addiction is taking away my ability to be autonomous in my own life. It's taking away my autonomy. Am I just doing this because somebody else told me to? It's being vulnerable, being aware, being honest with yourself. Honesty. Those are the four things, four important things to talk about in regards to embracing tranquility in your life. So here is an assignment for you to try this week. Try cultivating some peace for yourself and others. So, for example, if something that's going to cultivate your peace is in the household, if you're living with a bunch of people, let's have 30 minutes a day of silence where we all sit, we all have silence, not blasting loud noises all the time. Let's have silence. Let's sit, let's think, let's be vulnerable with ourselves and ourselves. Let's have 30 minutes of peace, our tranquility time, our relaxing time, our restful time, where we can sit down and be vulnerable with ourselves. That silent time. No TV, no external noises, nothing distracting us from being vulnerable with ourselves. That's an example of something you can do. Something in that realm. Something like that. Something that you can do each day to cultivate some tranquility into your life. to cultivate vulnerability with self, and in a way that it expands, because it is contagious. And when you cultivate peace and your peace is not blocking someone else from living, is not preventing someone else, is not stealing from someone else, is not hurting someone else, when your peace comes from within, it will spread. And maybe that person that's bothering you, they'll feel that peace. Be like, what did they do to feel that way? Maybe let me give that a try. It's contagious. Know that. Don't, it infringes on unity and free will. Do not try and control everything around you. You only got to worry about you. You don't got to worry about you, only worry about you in the sense that you are disrespectful to other people. You got to be considerate of other people. Choosing yourself is not at the expense of other people. Choosing yourself does not mean hurting other people in the process. Choosing yourself is being truthful and honest, compassionate and respectful. Be like, if they are hurt by the fact that they hurt you, they are offended that you left because they hurt you and you are tired of being hurt by them, that's on them. But as long as you go about communicating that respectfully, compassionately, and with forgiveness, that you are spreading peace and truly wishing the best for them, their anger does not end up being your responsibility. Nobody's anger is your responsibility, and your anger is nobody else's responsibility. Now, the crystals that can help with that are red jasper, garnet. You got red jasper, garnet, red garnet, blue apatite, and moss agate are the crystals that can help you with bringing forth divine tranquility. And you're like, whoa, these are some crystals that I associated with being tranquil. That's what our communicator is saying. Well, red garnet and red jasper, that's helping with the rooting, the security, and the safety. Ding, 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 ding. The safety. Because you're able to feel that tranquility when you are safe, and then also you don't lash out and you're not angry when you are safe. The blue apatite, that is a very tranquil stone that brings a lot of divine tranquility to any space and any person. Any space. Person. Know that blue apatite is a very powerful stone. Now, moss agate is bringing forth that grounding again, but it's also associated with the heart chakra and bringing some protection and peace to the heart chakra. Moss agate is also associated with Mother Earth and with, wait for it, I'm gonna have the dramatic effect. Moss agate is associated with Mother Earth and the divine maternal energy. And the divine maternal energy is associated with divine femininity, which is associated with divine tranquility, because there is peace in the moments of no action. And that is the best action that you can take. So, let's see how I took some time to slow things down. Sometimes the best thing to do for your peace, slowing things down. That is the final message. Oh, thank you. See the difference in energy. They were showing me the crystals. They were actually showing me the crystals that I own that are the crystals they were saying. I was seeing the visuals. Okay, that's where that crystal is. That crystal is not with me in this country. That crystal is there, and I miss that crystal. That crystal is in my basement. Like, I was seeing where they were, and like, wow, I actually have all of these, and I do feel very peaceful. And I saw actually a experience I had with a moss agate, where I was feeling so much discord, and I was feeling so knocked off balance, like no other. And I just held it, and I held it at my heart, and it was perspiring. And crystals, they sometimes perspire, but polished crystals, I don't feel like perspire as much as rough crystals in my experience. I just don't notice the perspiring as much, I guess, because they're polished. The rough ones, I can feel it because sometimes they'll leave little flecks of something if they perspire. But this one was a polished moss agate, and it was perspiring. It was sweating. It was feeling that I had this discord and lack of peace, and I felt so serene. And I very much miss that crystal. but it is not currently with me at the moment, but I will see it very soon. No, they showed me a lot of different visuals. A lot of different visuals. But a lot of them are very peaceful, specifically the visual of that divine tranquility and what it looked like. And I saw a lot of, you know, and I'm going to try and make it quick so this episode does not, I'm trying to keep these episodes under 30 minutes, so I'm going to try and make this as quick as I can, because we're at 25 minutes. So, what I was seeing was the visual of when we have disagreements with loved ones and what that looks like and what the energy looks like. And it's like we wear that energy like clothing. And a lot of us are radiating this I only care about me energy. And I get it, okay, protecting your peace is so important. And I understand why, I gotta put me first. But I was seeing that, and I am seeing that, and I'm actually seeing that in my own experiences, that your peace should not hurt someone else. And I've been hurt. I have been hurt because of somebody wanting to protect their own peace and not considering me in the process, and then just letting things continue to get worse when they could stop things from getting worse by just considering that maybe the actions that they're taking for their own peace also are causing things to go disarrayed in their own life too, because that has been my observation. I'm like, everything in your life is falling apart when you claim that you're protecting your peace in doing this one thing, but everything else in your life falls apart except this one thing that you're laser focused on. Like, maybe that's something that's not in alignment. But then seeing the visual, okay, if they don't understand that, I can't force them to, I can't control that. I just have to let things go peacefully. And not force things to happen in a certain way and cause discord. That's just an example, but I also, see I'm just gonna protect my own peace and done. And I'm gonna, stick my nose up at it, seeing that visual of like, that's an ego. I was seeing that, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's an ego. That is the ego. Like, I am disrupting this. And some of those connections maybe weren't things that were bad. Maybe they were good, but it's the ego, man, like this, I'm gonna disrupt it. And it's like this little thing coming in, and I'm just gonna disrupt this. I'm gonna be angry about it. That is not in accordance with divine tranquility or with our highest self. And that's why I was seeing that visual. And I think why they were talking about that so much is the goal of embracing these warrior principles is to step into your highest self. And when you're doing things like, that is not embracing your higher self. And also when you're accepting things, like I'm seeing the visual of me accepting, I've accepted a lot of things, and maybe it's the curse of a light worker, where we accept things even if they bother us, and we're just like, we put up with it to kind of try and protect the peace. But in actuality, it is causing discord and disruption within us, and eventually we're gonna explode. And when we explode, it's not pretty. And then when we explode, it's like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me. I failed my work, and I'm seeing that visual. No. It's not that you failed, because you had that eruption. Not disruption, eruption. You erupted because you were not being honest and being vulnerable that something was going to cause you pain or was causing you pain in the moment. There's a lot of things that we just accept. And that's maybe a people-pleasing curse I'm hearing more, like, maybe light worker, maybe like I can heal, whatever, but I'm also hearing actually louder, people please, people please, people please, the curse of a people pleaser, that we tend to do that. We tend to sometimes not speak up, and then it causes more issues because we are constantly being hurt. But we don't want to disrupt the peace. So no, I don't rock the boat. But sometimes you gotta rock the boat. Sometimes you gotta rock the boat to get the boat in the right direction for peace. And sometimes the right direction for peace is the nearest port for you both to get off, or for the groups of you to get off, and for you to go in your separate boats and go in different directions. Maybe that's the best course of action. So that's kind of the visual I was seeing, and I sometimes like to bring up examples for myself because, yes, I am a channeler, yes, I do these things, but I'm also a human being, and I experience things all the time, and healing is never done. When they told me that, like, when I was like, protecting my peace to the point that I was just, like, not connecting to anyone, and you're like, okay, well, if I'm isolating myself, this episode will be a little bit over 30 minutes, but I gotta keep going, because cannot stop the flow. when I was like completely isolating myself and I'm like, I gotta focus on my healing. Yeah, it was helping me. But I mean, in a way, you're hurting the people who you're meant to connect with by not being available to connect to them. Like afterwards, one of my friends, I didn't even intentionally not talk to this friend. It was just like, it just so happened that I deleted all social media and I didn't send a message and whatever. And then I like got back on, talking and opening myself up again. And I learned that that friend actually went through like a really hard time and I wasn't there. I was like, shit, excuse my language. But literally, that's what I felt. This was a few years ago. I was like, oh my gosh, how could I have not even like thought, I didn't even consider that that person needed me and I just completely. So now I am very much like, I don't ever want to do something like that again. And me and that friend were good. We talk all the time. I would never do something like that again. But I was also a kid. I mean, I started my awakening journey when I was 16. Now I'm like 21. So I mean, it was 5 years ago. So yeah, I was still learning. I was still understanding things. But yeah, you do kind of learn that even that like kind of isolating yourself and keeping yourself away from all people, and yeah, it does kind of, you don't realize the effects that if you're really in peace, you are able to just do whatever. And like my biggest example of that is my mother, the angel spirit healer, not the angel of spirit, the angel spirit healer. If you've ever attended any of the fairs and you've met her and had healing sessions with her, and she does long distance healing on the website. If you are looking for like the most peaceful Zen time, yes, there are more testimonies that aren't just mine. I might be a little biased, but I have experienced healings from other healers, and she has a Zen time. Anyway, she is so good about keeping her peace and even being around people who would, in a way, like if she was more in her ego, would disrupt her peace and kind of like cause her to be like, but she's just always able to just like, be peaceful and, smile and like not even in a people pleasing way, also very assertive. And I'm like, I will reach that point one day. I am still learning. But I can see that it is possible, but you have to choose it, and that is a choice. And choosing to be vulnerable, like I'm being right now, but choosing to understand that your peace never comes at the expense of somebody else's. And sometimes when you completely shut yourself down and you cut yourself off from all people, that you are there, you have a soul contract to help someone, and if you block yourself from all people, then you're not completing that, and then that leaves that person feeling like, So it's different. It's using your intuition and using discernment. You can tell, okay, this is not a good connection from me. Let me let this go peacefully. But everything is about letting it go peacefully and never leaving things in anger, never leaving things in hate, never doing things out of spite, doing things because in my peaceful moment, in my highest self moment, I am in my highest energy right now, and this is how I'm feeling. And communicating that with assertiveness, but also with love, with compassion. It is always, some connections are not meant for us, but when we let it go with peace, like we're leaving things peacefully and we're taking a step back, we know that discord isn't going to follow us. And I saw that visual of a lot of us leave things in anger. We do things in anger, and when we're in our moments of peace, we realize I made a huge mistake, but now I cannot fix it. I don't know how to fix this. Now it's gotten too far out of control, and I saw that visual, like, of examples in my own life of people and situations, kind of giving me clarity about things too, which is my payment for doing these channelings for the collective all. But seeing that, like, I've gone too far in my anger, and I thought that I was doing something to help me feel peaceful, but actually now that I'm sitting in my peace, I realize I made a lot of mistakes. Like, seeing that visual of people experiencing that feeling of like, now I have my peace. Now I don't have to worry about that person or that. I now have my peace, and now I'm sitting in it. And oh my gosh, I handled this so poorly. Now I have my peace, but I really don't, because now I have this guilt. Now I have this feeling. I did this in the wrong way. I didn't do this right. I left things in anger, and you never want to leave anything in anger. You want to leave things in peace. Leave not in pieces, in peace. That's why having that like mutual separation, having things just like, drift off. Never do things out of anger, because you can leave something and someone, I saw a visual, leave something and someone can be angry. Okay. Because, I mean, you can do something peaceful, like, this is how I'm feeling, this is how I have been feeling, this isn't healthy for me, and I know that I'm not going to be a good friend, I'm not going to be a good cousin, I'm not going to be a good whatever if I am staying in this dynamic any longer. I'm not going to I'm not going to be the best version of myself, and I'm not going to be what you need, and I'm not going to be able to be what you want me to be, and I'm not going to change who I am. And I'm speaking from personal experience. There was a lot of situations that I've had to leave, and yeah, on one of them, I handled it as peacefully as I could have. I was, not out of anger, but there were a few things that, I went through drafts and drafts of like, how am I going to say this? To ultimately reach the point of like, I just have to be honest, and that there is no hate in my heart. There is no anger in my heart. And when there is hate and when there is anger, you got to interview that first before you go forth with making a decision. Because is it towards that person, or where is it coming from? Not leaving things in anger. You can leave it in peace, and leaving things from a place of like compassion. And I did that. And there were some people who were very angry. And I learned that later, that I handled things peacefully and they were angry. But it wasn't because I left things in anger. It's because they left things in anger. But also probably because as a 16-year-old child, I did not give them an opportunity to speak, and they just wanted to share what they had to say. So you never want to block someone from saying something. You don't want to leave things in discord and in anger, but sometimes you got to do that no contact way. And as long as you do it from a place of compassion, that peace will follow you. Yeah, that's kind of the best way to say it. Like, from my own personal experience, that peace did follow me. And there was, initially, I felt the energy of them being angry, but then within a few days, I kind of felt that energy of the fact that they accepted that was my choice. Or few days, few years. Few days is, few days for maybe a few people. I went to no contact with an entire side of my family, but it's a story for another time, beautiful beings. But yeah, that's the feeling that I was feeling, is like, yeah, because you feel that energy. Like, you can feel it first when you go no contact. And I'm gonna get off this soapbox when we're about at 40 minutes. This is turning into an inspired awakening, but I feel like I want to talk about this. Yeah, you can feel it. You go no contact, but you do it from a peaceful place, and there aren't things left with like anger or animosity from your side. You're taking care of it as much as possible. At first, say the first few months, I felt the anger. And then I felt that for the most part, I felt the energy of acceptance. Like, they accepted it, because you can feel it. You can feel it. I had the dreams of them trying to reconnect, reestablish contact, and I've had those dreams every now and again. But for the most part, I feel that acceptance, because at a certain point, it's a lesson of acceptance. And even from my side of someone going no contact with me, I've it's reaching that acceptance, which is very difficult. But once you reach that acceptance, then you aren't leaving discord, and there is no more discord following you. But there's a higher chance of somebody reaching acceptance about something, especially in regards to no contact, when you handle it peacefully and with compassion, and you're not doing it out of anger or out of, being selfish and inconsiderate. When you're doing it in a more considerate way, it's easier to reach that acceptance, and vice versa. So acceptance comes easier when peace is involved in the splitting of contact, the breaking of contact. So yeah, that's kind of the final point I wanted to make. Thank you all for joining me in this, probably the longest episode of this mini-series, but it is about peace. So we gotta really make sure that we are talking about things accurately, because divine tranquility is the most important thing that we are all seeking. And next week, is it liberation or divine justice? They keep kind of changing their mind about which one's gonna be next, so it's gonna be a surprise next week. I think it's gonna be liberation or freedom. So I think that's gonna be next week. So we'll see you then. We are getting really close to the end of this year. So make sure that you are staying tuned for all the fun things that we got going on, like the courses and their bonus offers or special end of year offers coming to an end at the end of the year, of course. So make sure that you go and use those coupon codes to get the one course for $4, one course for $5, one course for $10. Everyone who buys a course is entered to win a free live reading, channeled reading. So that will be on Inspired Awakening live. So get a chance to interview the elves, ask some questions. Yeah? Make sure you are checking that stuff out. I did not mention that in the last video, but since this one will be coming out a little bit closer to the middle of December, or beginning of December, middle of December, early December, yeah, going through my checklist of when this is coming out. Since this is coming out, like, you know, mid-December, really, I want to make sure that I mention that so you can take advantage of those opportunities and cultivate more peace in your life and in your home and in yourself. Okay, that's it. I'm done talking now. Sending you love, light, and inspiration. Stay inspired. See you next week.